In this corner, weighing 250 pounds, Mega Karen. In that corner, weighing 90 pounds, Abuelita La Shankla, by Usera Quiet Borderline. So while I was browsing through IDontWorkHereLady stories, I took a trip down memory lane when my brother worked at a southern grocery store chain with green shirts and where shopping is a pleasure. My brother was a cashier. One of my brother's regulars was this elderly lady from Puerto Rico. She'd come by every Saturday to get her groceries. She didn't speak a word of English, but she was so endearing that my brother and his co-workers lovingly called her Abuelita. Even the managers called her that. It turns out her grandson was a fellow cashier, and for big holidays like Christmas, she'd send him in with enough homemade goodies like tamales and enchiladas for everyone. Just a real sweet lady. One Saturday evening, I got off work early and decided to get some last-minute things for a barbecue my brother and I were hosting. We were living together at the time. It was maybe an hour before closing, so the store is practically dead. I made the critical mistake of changing into a green shirt, but it was a much darker shade of green than the one the employees wear. I was getting flour when Abuelita, who I had met before on previous excursions, rolled up on her electric shopping cart and politely asked me, in Spanish, to reach something from the top shelf. I helped her and she went on her way after thanking me. 5 minutes later, I was in front of the meat counter, debating which brisket to get when I heard the cleared throat. The warning call of the wild Karen. I stepped aside, thinking I was in her way. She cleared her throat again. I turned and looked to see someone who resembled a 250lb version of Kate Gosselin, complete with the haircut. This was my fatal mistake. Go to the back and get 5 New York strip steaks. She bellowed. Pardon? I asked, not quite registering what was going on. Are you deaf? She screamed so loud that my ears are ringing. I said. Get me 5 New York strip steaks. I'm sorry, but I don't work here. I said. I can get someone to help you though. Don't be stupid. You helped that bitch in the scooter and you're wearing the shirt. You're just being lazy. I was done at this point and said, listen lady, even if I did work here, what makes you think I would help you? Karen raised her fat fist. And then it happened. Something hit the side of her head with a loud smack. Before landing by my feet. We looked down and see a flip-flop. All of a sudden I hear raised voices in Spanish and turn to look. Abuelita was maybe 10 feet away, missing one flip-flop and holding her other flip-flop in her hand, winding up like she was an MLB pitcher. She was glaring at Mega Karen with black eyes and her mouth set in a firm line. Her grandson was running up to her, yelling at her in Spanish to put down La Shankla. Cue Abuelita starting to cry and tell her grandson that she was only protecting the nice lady who had helped her and that Mega Karen was going to hit me. Now, by this point the manager is coming over and Mega Karen must have realized she'd done goofed up. She pulled the quickest disappearing act I have ever seen. I returned Abuelita's flip-flop to her and thanked her. I also made sure the manager knew that Abuelita was trying to defend me. And that is the story of how a Mega Karen learned the terrifying power of Abuelita and La Shankla. SHH Quiet Secret, by user Metronite. About a month ago I was stocking shelves at work, dressed in a green polo shirt and jeans with my store's name on the shirt and my name badge in full sight pinned to it, when a lady walks up to me and asks if I work there while her husband is standing with the cart a few feet away. With a glance left and right then a shushing motion of a finger to my lips I told her softly I got one of their work shirts and now just play around with the products on the shelves. The shocked look on her face got me cracking up when the husband, who overheard me, walks up laughing. I apologized to her for the prank and she started laughing and I sent them off to where the product they were looking for was stocked. Now about 10 minutes later I run into them in another area and they both glance about then make a shushing motion to me before laughing. This caused my boss who just walked up to get confused and asked what was that about. All I could do was laugh as I explained it to him while we headed to the back stock room. Rude Karen gets told off, by user Livy 5000. This is a bit different from the other posts. I was in Walmart after there was another remodel and things were changed around again. I was looking for the pots and pan section. Because I hate to assume anything I asked a few people who were putting inventory up if they worked there. They said no and I apologized for bothering them. I told my mom that I couldn't find the section and they graciously told me where it was. That was when a rude Karen started screaming at them. Why did you help her and not me? Because you are rude. She's nice. I'm honestly surprised. I have seen people's face get really red when angry, but her face turned an ugly blue/purple shade as she went nuclear. She was painfully loud, but it was absolutely fascinating to those colors change the angrier she got. And since I sometimes like to start shit for entertainment and I was curious as to just how much angrier I could work her up, I was about to just start when I got elbowed hard by my mom, followed by the look. I briefly debated on whether or not to ignore the mom look. The decision was taken away when the manager turned up and escorted the Karen right out the door and banned her from coming back. I was so disappointed. My mom saw my look and started laughing. Like no sympathy at all. I am not a security guard, by user alert crown. So, I am a 21-year-old German dude, so please excuse my English, who visited the USA a few months ago for a road trip. When me and my best friend, reached Nevada, we wanted to go to Las Vegas, so we did. As we arrived, we went to the casinos. Just as a background info, I'm about 6'0" and 202 lbd with wide shoulders, and I decided to wear black shoes, black jeans, and a black nice shirt even in 37 degrees, while my friend looked like a typical tourist. So as we walked through the countless casinos, my friend told me that he needed to go to the toilet, so I waited for him. I was standing next to a pillar and let my eyes look over this breathtaking view of endless blinking lights in all colors. Then suddenly I felt a tap 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 on my shoulder from behind, and there was this lady, and she already had that look of fury on her face, so I asked her, slightly irritated. "Yeah? Can I help you?" But she already started yelling. Finally. "You security guards can't keep hiding." And I was just like, "Excuse me? I'm a tourist, I am not from the security." In that moment she tried to grab my wrist and was trying to pull me with her, while she was still yelling some words I won't say here. I was scared and didn't know what to do except keep trying to tell her that I am a tourist. I even started talking German to prove it, but that did not bother her at all. Luckily my best friend saw me seconds before I was pulled behind a corner and was searching for help. At this point the lady just cursed at me and called me dumb and unprofessional. I am a big guy but never were in a situation any like that. About a minute later my friend came with a real security guard. The guard was big, I mean really big, like you would see in cartoons. So he pulled me beside, away from that lady, and whispered to me, "You can go, I'll handle that." Until today I still don't know if he was thinking that I work there or not, but at least he freed me from her. In the end the guard spoke loudly that I will get my punishment later before vanishing with the lady, who was still yelling, in the crowd of people. So did my friend and I, and we went fast to another location. After I explained the story to him he couldn't resist laughing in disbelief. I guess he laughed because he knows how less this job would fit me. I won't say Americans are crazy, but there are more crazy people than at home. Do you work here? By user F_Boudreau. Up in the hotel gym today, 4 ladies came in. I say ladies BC, they had their hair sprayed and curled to stand up from their heads and were carrying purses. I noticed them because they were in warm weather boots and jackets. It's in the high 40s today in NYC. But they were walking around the gym looking puzzled. The youngest, probably 5 years younger than me, so early 50s, made eye contact and asked, "Do you work here?" I stopped. I was listening to an audio book in my right ear and my left ear has been crap since 2017. I watched the words form on her lips. And I looked down to my Star Wars t-shirt and took a long swig from my water bottle. "Oh," she said. They made another circle of the gym, and then left. Why don't people just say, "Hi, I'm curious about something," or "Sorry to interrupt you, but do you know?" Or any number of icebreakers. The reason I iced her is 1, women with hair like that usually say "bless your heart" when in reality they'd willingly shoot you with the revolver in their Dooney and Burke, and 2, since menopause and surviving the big C, I don't give a f.